by 2020. This is really a wartime mobilization to cut carbon emissions. The second is to stabilize world population at no more than 8 billion. The third is to eradicate basic poverty around the world. And the fourth is to restore the economy's natural support systems. And this includes soils and forests and fisheries and grasslands and aquifers. These are the basic natural systems on which the global economy depends. We know from earlier civilizations that those that destroyed their natural support systems eventually declined and collapsed. So that's why we include rebuilding the economy's natural support systems as one of the four basic points. I've talked with some people who know the oil industry pretty well in recent days as I've traveled around Europe. Some think that BP may not even survive this huge oil spill. We don't know how long this is going to continue, but what I think is likely to happen is that it will further encourage us to rethink the future of fossil fuels, and in this case, oil in particular. We've had in recent weeks 3 coal mine disasters in the world, in West Virginia, in Russia, in China. And I think these things will lead us to rethink the future of coal and of oil. We don't know yet how much oil will end up in the Gulf of Mexico, but we do know it's probably at least 5,000 barrels a day, and that means, I should say, one of the risks is that the oil will move beyond the Gulf of Mexico and get into the Gulf Stream, coming up the east coast of the United States and eventually across the Atlantic to Europe. And if it does get to the east coast of the United States, there are many beaches in Florida and the Atlantic coast beaches in Delaware, New Jersey, Atlantic City, for example, New York, Long Island, all the way up to Boston, Cape Cod. It's difficult now to know exactly what the long-term effects will be, but I do not expect they're going to get it under control. I think it should be much more. I haven't actually seen this proposal. I've been traveling a lot, so it's hard to keep up with the news sometimes, but my own sense is that we need to be phasing in, we need to be restructuring taxes, lowering income taxes, and offsetting that with the rise of the carbon tax. And if we do that, then I think we've got a chance of cutting carbon emissions fairly dramatically. So I appreciate the 1 cent per barrel increase, but I think we should be thinking in much bigger terms of probably doubling the price of carbon over the next decade by lowering income taxes and raising the carbon tax like so. And that would have 2 benefits. In addition, of course, to cutting carbon emissions dramatically, it would also lower the cost of labor, making it easier to if you tax labor much less, then it in effect lowers the cost of labor. So you can create many more jobs and create jobs more easily. And that the world very much needs now as well.
Okay.
What I think China is doing now is buying time to develop the technologies to build the new energy economy so that they can be playing a leading role in the world. I think most, at least some of the more forward-looking governments now realize that the big growth in the world economy during the next couple of decades is going to be in the energy sector. and it's going to be shifting to renewable sources of energy, wind and solar and geothermal and so forth. And so I think that, I mean, when you look at what the Chinese are doing, I mean, they are the world's leading manufacturer of solar cells now. No one's really close to them. And they're planning these huge wind mega complexes. 7 of them will have a total generating capacity of 130,000 megawatts. I mean, that's equal to 130 coal-fired power plants. That's like building another coal-fired power plant every week for the next 2.5 years. I mean, we've never seen thinking on this scale before. But when you think about it, I think it's clear that whichever country or countries are leading with the new energy technologies are going to be in the driver's seat in terms of competitiveness in the world economy. I mean, if we look at the last 2 decades, the big growth in the world economy has been in the information technology sector. And the leader in that, actually it's nearly 3 decades now, the leader in that area was the United States, whether it's personal computers or the internet or what have you. And so if you were to make a list of the top 20 information technology companies in the world, and I haven't done this, but I would guess probably 15 of them are US companies. You know, I mean, Microsoft and Google and Dell and Facebook, I mean, Amazon.com, these are all US companies. And I think the same thing that was true for information technologies will be true for the new energy technologies as well.